US and Russian officials are meeting in Riyadh for further talks aimed at hammering out a ceasefire in Ukraine. The latest meeting in Saudi Arabia comes a day after delegates from Washington and Kiev had their own discussions. And while talks were originally planned to take place simultaneously, with the US officials going back and forth between the delegations, they are now taking place one after the other. The meeting between the Ukrainian team led by the defense minister and the Americans finished up late Sunday night. And after the meeting, Omerov said on social media that the discussion was productive and focused and addressed key points, including energy. He added that Ukraine was working to make its goal of a just and lasting peace a reality. Washington has signaled its hope for real progress, even as Moscow warned that difficult negotiations lie ahead. The Kremlin spokesman, Dmitry Peskov, told Russian state TV that there were many outstanding questions over how a potential ceasefire might be implemented. Ahead of the talks in Riyadh, a report claimed that the U.S. is hopeful for a ceasefire by April 20th. Bloomberg, citing anonymous sources familiar with the matter, reported the White House still believes it could achieve a truce by Easter. The date holding a symbolic significance as both Western and Orthodox celebrations overlap this year. U.S. President Donald Trump, meanwhile, has pushed for a quick end to the war since taking office in January. However, he had said that he did not indicate any specific deadline for reaching a ceasefire in Ukraine in his conversation with the Russian leader, Vladimir Putin. The Trump envoy, Steve Witkoff, meanwhile, has voiced optimism that any agreement struck would pave the way for a full-on ceasefire. He told Fox News that there may be some real progress in Saudi Arabia on Monday, particularly as it affects a Black Sea ceasefire on ships between both countries.
I feel that he wants peace. The president had two very productive calls this week, or last week, I should say, one with President Zelensky, one with President Putin. I sat and listened to both of them. In both conversations, it was all about a lasting peace. Lots of progress got made last week.
And speaking to Fox News Sunday, Witkoff also said he did not believe fears that Putin was after more territory in Europe. Listen in.
And I simply have said that I just don't see that he wants to take all of Europe. This is a much different situation than it was in World War II. In World War II, there was no NATO.
Witkoff also snubbed UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's plans for Ukraine as a combination of a posture and a pose. The Prime Minister has suggested a coalition of the willing, made up of several European and NATO countries, could provide boots on the ground in Ukraine after a ceasefire.